how do you choose what sort of book you're going to read? Are you going to go for a page turner, or something capable of winning a Booker Prize, or are you going to look for something that's non-fiction to stimulate the brain? We all tend to look for different things. And when we come to the Gospels, there are options. Luke delights in stories and its way of weaving the Gospel message. Matthew is highly organised, delivering a teaching Gospel. John does something really different in the way he presents his information. People that can be a bit sniffy about Mark, seeing it as being too rough and ready, that it's speed with a combination of and then and immediately with no great passage of time somehow makes it less than the other three. And they forget that Mark actually is a genius, because what he does is really clever. The first half of his gospel is intent on showing who Jesus is until you come to the cataclysmic moment on the road to Caesarea Philippi, when the question is asked, who do people say that I am? And the reply is Elijah or one of the prophets. And then Jesus, I imagine, looks him in the eye and says, who do you say that I am? And there is that pregnant pause before Peter says, you are the Christ. And then Mark, in his genius way, can then unravel something more of who Jesus is. Jesus begins to talk about what's going to happen in Jerusalem, and very quickly in Mark chapter 9, we come to the story of the Transfiguration, where Jesus is on the mountain with his small little group of disciples, Elijah and Moses are there, and he is depicted as being transfigured. We sometimes get caught up with them wanting to build booths and what they thought was going on, and forget that really something vitally important has happened here. Caesarea Philippi, Peter recognised who Jesus was, and the Mount of Transfiguration really confirms that in a spectacular way, as in front of the disciples' eye, Jesus is transformed, transfigured, seen as being holier than anything that they could possibly imagine. It in effect is a parable of restoration, because suddenly the reality of God's love and care can be seen anew. The Messiah is on the way, hope is born again, and something new and remarkable is about to happen. Transfiguration invites us to look towards Jerusalem and what Jesus is going to achieve so that we can be restored to God. It's a vital story. It's a fundamental story that we need to hear and drink in its wonder. Not to worry about building booths, but to see the Holy One of God revealed for all to see.